Good morning again. Welcome to the Ashes to Rubies conversational podcast where we talk about life and recovery and much more. We already started this podcast, but we had to replay it again because our technical support staff has a lot of room to grow. All right, here we are on a Monday, we could say it's middle of September. The leaves are changing. Heck,
Yeah.
I love fall. What I was saying is that about being surprised. What surprised you in the last little while? And you said me. I said what surprised me is that you showed me on your reading app a font that helps dyslexic people read better. I was like, man, it was amazing. And then I read it, and in my short little paragraph that I read, it was really interesting. I didn't have to go back because typically when I read, I'm paying attention, and then I miss some words, and then I'm like, what did that mean? What did they mean when they said, and then I have to read it again. So it's like work. You don't get that, do you?
Yeah, but reading is work for anyone.
Is it? Like, do you find reading
you have to
work?
Pay attention. You actually have to pay attention. You actually have to slow down and absorb what it is that you're reading. But it's called open dyslexia, I think it's called, or open dyslexia.
Is the font?
It's a font on my e-reader.
When I look at you read, I don't think that girl is working hard, because you could read for 5 hours.
Right. But if I'm reading a book that's like a study book, I actually have to really pay attention. If I'm just reading a story, my brain will just fill in the gaps, so I don't have to really pay attention.
No, there's a difference?
Yeah. It's if I'm reading a study book.
Really?
So if I'm reading for entertainment, I don't really care. If I don't really understand, I don't know, my brain is filling in all the gaps when I'm reading a novel, even a historical novel.
So then your reading is like me in a situation where there's a conversation. One would be a classroom conversation, and then one would just be a coffee conversation.
Right.
So you reading a novel is like me having a coffee conversation. I'm not going to take notes. I'm not going to try to remember everything they said. But if I'm in a classroom setting or a learning environment, then I take notes.
Yeah.
So that's how reading is to you. Fascinating, because reading to me, no matter what it is, it's all the same. And then because there's work involved, I would rather not read for enjoyment, like a good Hardy Boy book or Willard Price or Nancy Drew. Did you ever read Nancy Drew?
Of course I did.
Hardy Boys?
Yeah.
You read the Hardy Boys?
Of course I did.
No.
Every kid
Do you
did.
remember their names?
No.
Wasn't it Luke and Bo?
You have a very good memory for someone who doesn't read.
Who are the Hardy Boys? What are their names? I don't even remember. I've read a lot of them. My dad used to make me read. Thank you, Father, for making me read. He did.
So what are we going to do in here?
What are we doing here? We're going to read, and I'm going to read to you. Okay. And I'm going to read to you. This is a morning devotional, devoting time in the morning to study, to meditate. This is a contemplative meditation. There's different kinds of meditation. So this is taking an idea and carrying it with us today, and letting the Spirit of God speak to us through it. So today we are on September the 13th. Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a married couple, just like you and me, who lived in a beautiful house, just like you and me, and had lots of the material things that many of us think are important to contentment. They were not content, however. What with one little misunderstanding and another, the situation grew worse. Their discontentment grew worse. Nobody would give way an inch in their bitter arguments until at last their love turned to hatred. Finally, the wife insisted that the inside of the house be divided by a brick wall, behind which each could live in his and her own quarters. Each went their separate way, and they never spoke to each other again as long as they lived. They had many wretched years in their isolation. A brick wall. Today's reminder. Am I unknowingly building a wall between myself and the person I married? Question mark. Is it being made of stubbornness, self-will, self-righteousness, and a desire to punish? Such a wall can be hard and unyielding as though it were made of real bricks. It would leave me no space in which to grow. As one member put it, God grant me the wisdom to recognize the faults I am building into a wall, such a wall as cannot be penetrated even by love. Oh.
We can build brick walls in any relationship that we have.
In every relationship.
In every relationship.
That's a hard reading. It's interesting because our ego and our self-will are wall builders by nature. Protective, push people away, not be known, and I just want to be independent. And that's what addiction does. And so when we have stuff on the outside and the nice clothes and the nice car and the nice house and the kids are in the hockey and the football and the dance and the trampolining, cycling, whatever they're into, it's like on the outside, I'm presented really well. And then on the inside, am I content? Because what brings me contentment? Acceptance, love, comfort, protection, provision, being noticed, being parented, fathered, being cared for, being loved. And so if I don't worry about my relationship with God to get those needs met, and I'm trying to get them from you, I think my self-will build a case that you're not good enough.
Oh, yeah.
And we get God's provision for us from the world around us. And then we make a case against them. And I love how they said that every brick was such a wall can be hard and unyielding as well as every brick. They said, is it being made of stubbornness, self-will, self-righteousness, and a desire to punish? So insecurity, self-pity, all of those things are bricks in the wall. And now I'm thinking of Pink Floyd. Just another brick in the wall.
It's my favorite when you sing.
I do it so little.
I don't know why you do that.
Some part of me wants to be discovered.
Okay.
And just say, like, you're perfect the way you are. And would you just bring that voice into the pop world? But yeah, we build walls. We build them against each other, and the outside is not going to make us happy enough so that the relationships that we value the most will be good. And there are a lot of people that are suffering, that are discontent, irritable, restless in their marriages, and their kids are paying a price. And COVID has really brought to light a lot of these issues.
Yeah. And as long as I'm just looking at the other person and so focused on the other person, what they're doing and what they should be doing better, it's really hard to move forward. It's really hard to get out of that place, actually, unless I'm willing to surrender.
And recovery gives us contentment because real recovery connects us to God.
Remember when I asked you, because we were not getting along 2 years ago at all. And remember I asked you, like, I feel like I was trying to say, like, do you think I'm the only one who changed? Or do you think, like, actually you changed also? And you got, like, really offended by me. You were like so mad that I asked you that because you were perfect and didn't need to change.
Well, you're in early recovery, right? And I've been in this game for 14 years.
And so, yeah.
My ego was like pinpricked. I was like, she's not recognizing my recovery. How great I am. The walls. So yeah, like, it's a hard reading because the solution is God, and many of us know God, but we're not being filled and powered by him. And so we actually are making brick walls in our relationships. And the whole point of the enemy is to isolate us, to wall us around, and to destroy us.
Right.
And that's what he's doing, because we're made in the image of God, and the enemy comes in through our minds and speaks untruth. He is the deceiver.
Yeah.
So yeah, if this is you today, if you're building those brick walls, just reach out, and it's better to reach out and risk embarrassment, risk ridicule, risk whatever you think you're holding on to, and to disassemble and dismantle a brick wall that will eventually destroy you. So we leave you with that. What brick walls are you making? I think the sign of discontentment is actually a brick wall. So yeah, where are we making brick walls? And what are the bricks that we're using to make these walls? Self-will, self-righteousness, stubbornness, and a desire to punish. All right. May you feel the love of God today. May you experience his love, and keep the peace, be of good behavior, and we will see you